All right, well, we're just going to keep moving through this incredible set of events in the past 24 hours. President Trump has now attacked the lead juror in the case that ended with his friend Roger Stone's conviction. Trump tweeted, quote, "Now it looks like the foreperson in the jury in the Roger Stone case had significant bias. Add that to everything else, and this is not looking good for the quote Justice Department." Puts that in quotes. The attack came a day after former Memphis School Board President Tamika Hart identified herself as the lead juror in a Facebook post. Hart said she's been silent since the November 2019 conviction out of concern for her safety, but decided to speak out in defense of the 4 prosecutors who quit after the case after the Department of Justice overrode their recommendation. Hart also defended her own work, posting to Facebook this: "As foreperson, I made sure we went through every element of every charge, matching the evidence presented in the case that led us to return a conviction of guilty on all 7 counts." Since identifying herself, the president's allies in the media have dredged up old social media posts they claim to show bias. Hart did run for Congress as a Democrat in 2012, but Stone's defense knew that when they cleared her to serve on the jury. Meanwhile, the Chief Justice of the Federal District Court in Washington issued a rare public response to Trump's attacks. The judges of this court based their sentencing decisions on careful consideration of the actual record in the case before them, the applicable sentencing guidelines and statutory factors, the submissions of the parties, the probation office and victims and their own judgment and experience. Public criticism or pressure is not a factor. Let's stop right here. Chuck Rosenberg, I want to hear your thoughts.
Well, first of all, Judge Howell is spot on. That's exactly right. I'm not concerned, Mika, that in this particular case, the outcome of the sentencing will be unfair. In fact, Judge Jackson is a well-respected jurist. She's smart and she's tough. It will be a fair outcome. What worries me is that the perception of the outcome will be fair. See, the Department of Justice has to be 2 things: objectively fair and perceived as fair. And when the president weighs in on a case about a friend of his and asks the Justice Department to do a particular thing, which it then does, that goes to the perception of fairness. And Judge Howell and Judge Jackson, and by the way, we heard this from Chief Justice Roberts, have spoken out about the men and women who comprise the federal judges across the country and how they don't succumb to pressure and how this thing doesn't work. But the public doesn't necessarily know that. And so the president put the judge in a terrible situation because it either looks like she's capitulating to the president if she sentences Mr. Stone lower than the guidelines call for, or that she's rebuffing him if she does not, when in fact all she's going to do is her job. She's going to be just and she's going to be fair. The outcome will be fair. I worry about the perception.
Thanks for checking out MSNBC on YouTube, and make sure you subscribe to stay up to date on the day's biggest stories. And you can click on any of the videos around us to watch more from Morning Joe and MSNBC. Thanks so much for watching.